We are going to get rolling. I want to make sure everybody's on here that is going to be chatting tonight. I always think it's funny. People pop on at like the last 20 seconds right before we start. Okay, my name is Stephanie. For those of you who do not know me, we are going to be talking about, well, it's not just going to be me. Don't worry. I promise. So we're going to be chatting a little. We kind of polled a couple people. And so we had a lot of people just simply ask about just launching promoters, kind of really around the promoter business side of things. So action steps, a couple of things that we've all have realized over the last couple of weeks, not all of us, but a few of us that we've been chatting back and forth about. I think I'm going to guess if Leah is on here. I think Leah and I listened to the same Ed Milet. Leah, are you on here? Hold on a second. I'm looking. Leah Johnson. I don't know if you're, I don't have everybody's screen up, but if you are on, how are you?
I'm good. I have like hardly any voice. My voice is gone, but yes.
You know what? Good. It's okay. So I was talking to Mandy because Mandy and I kind of had the same idea for tonight, and we were asking a couple people, and she was telling me your idea just about like, just the idea of just this. Well, first of all, when people join as a promoter, like their idea of how fast this business could go or what could happen over 90 days, right? And so I'm wondering, did you listen to a podcast this morning?
Yes.
We must have listened to
I listen to him every single day. He is absolutely phenomenal.
So here's the deal. This is what we're going to talk about. We're going to kind of bounce around with no rhyme or reason between everybody, but there's the chat thread on this side, and then that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about just a promoter conversation. I think it's going to be great. But Leah, if you don't mind me asking, I didn't ask you before, but I know you listened to it, so I'm going to throw you on the spot, and Mandy said you wouldn't care. Do you want to give everybody just a brief overview of what you listened to today from Ed Milet? And I think it's great. Like, I don't listen to him very often. My husband does, but I walked in and I was like, oh, this is good.
Well, I didn't actually listen to him today, and I don't even know. I'm kind of all over the board with his episodes. I just I've started from the very first one that he has, and then I've just went from there. I don't even know. Like, there's so much stuff. Are you talking about like the 90 to 120 days? Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, that's what I'm talking about, or that's what you told her about.
Yes. So, and I apologize, y'all, if y'all can't understand me very well. I'll do my best to get through this. But so really, what he was talking about is, when we get into this business or any business at all, that the activity that you do, you may be, doing stuff right now and you're not seeing your instant results right now because nothing happens instantly. Like, there's nothing that you possibly can do that you're going to get an immediate result from. So he said that the stuff that you're doing now is you're going to start seeing, the fruits of your labor, I guess you could say, in anywhere from like 90 to 120 days. And that's the good stuff and the bad stuff. He said, so, I mean, if you're slacking in your business, you best believe in 90 to 120 days, you're going to see your business start to slow down. And the same thing goes if you're, in the trenches right now and you're just killing it and you're doing your demos and you're doing everything, you're having your keto life parties and you're doing everything. I mean, he didn't say obviously keto life parties, but you're doing all the things. In 90 to 120 days, you're going to start seeing all of that, kind of come to life and everything. So it was really, really cool. So don't give up if you're not seeing the immediate results right now, but it's coming, I promise.
I love it. I listened to that this morning, and then I know you did, and it kind of, that topic was all across the board. A couple people that we asked about what we should talk about tonight, that's exactly what people were saying. And so one thing he tied it to before we kind of dive into some of this promoter conversation is he said, it's no different, your business, than like if you were to eat a donut today, right? Like, you wouldn't see the weight gain overnight, right? Or even over the course of this week. But if you eat that donut and other things over the course of the next 90 to 120 days, your health will look different in 120 days than it does now. And so it was just a really good reminder. And you know what's so funny is if you're around Brian or this Prove It community, if you plug into Brian's Instagram, if you come to our events and you listen to anybody talk on stage with the business conversation, that's what they all say. And you're right. Like, yeah, I just think it's super interesting and I love that part of it. So thanks for sharing, because I know that we were both listening to the same thing. So
you're so welcome.
I think Mandy's on. Mandy and myself, Jessica Craig, are going to ping pong back and forth just about this conversation. And Mandy, are you there?
I'm here.
How's your night?
My whole day has been amazing. I just relaxed today. It doesn't mean I wasn't like this most of the day, but like I just relaxed. It was really great. Like I woke up and got ready to go for the day, and then Jack and I decided we were going to do nothing. It was great.
I love it. Hey, what are you guys, raise everybody's hands if you're loving these the blitzes that have been hitting these last 2 days, I think. So I think they're super awesome. I would love for you guys to post over in the thread, like what you think of the blitzes. Mandy, what do you think of them so far?
Well, I love the blitzes. They're super fun. And I think that the fact that we're having them ties in really well to how we kicked this conversation off about consistent actions, because this is what I say to people all the time. Like, the growth in your business that can come from a sale or a blitz isn't necessarily going to come because of the sale or the blitz. It's going to happen through the sale or the blitz because you've been consistent for the past 90 to 120 days. So when a blitz happens, for me, I can go, oh, this is great. I have 35 people I can message right now. But it's not because I thought of 35 people who could benefit from the sale on electrolytes, right? It's like because I've been consistent and creating conversations and planting seeds and doing things every single day, I can go back and use the blitz or the sale to grow my business. So I love them. I think they're super fun. I think they're really great for people who are brand new and growing their business because it gives them an opportunity and a sense of urgency, right? To be like, oh my gosh, I know we talked about this and you were a little worried about the price, but how cool is it? We've got this promotion going, like these boxes that were $50 off, insane. The peach tea that we had for buy two, get one, insane. Like, those things are going to be really great conversation starters, and they're really powerful when you're doing what Leah just said, right? Whenever you're consistent every single day, that makes this a 3 times more powerful day, right? Does that make sense? So I'm loving them. I think they're super fun and super great, and it's creating a lot. It's encouraging me to go back and revisit conversations, right? Which is the whole point of this.
So I love it too. I know just popping in out of the office, they were toying with this idea, and it was fun to actually watch it come through. Because I think sometimes even when we have a 24 to 48 hour sale, please shut the puppies up. Shut them up. Even when we have that, sometimes people go, oh, I'll wait to the last minute, right? But there's no waiting. Like you've got 45 minutes by the time you get messages out to be done. And I think it's just a fun thing. And so I don't know how long they're going to last. I don't know if it'll just be through the summer or if it'll be all year, if it'll just be this month, but keep your eye on the pulse because I have a feeling there'll be more coming down the road. So I think it's super fun. Okay. So one of the questions that you had got asked, Mandy, was just kind of how the initial, like how to launch a promoter. I think some people look at this whole DMOs, they want to get down to that 120 days down the road, but I think some people get so overwhelmed and so paralyzed with this, like, there's too much to do. Like, I don't know what to do. What are the best things to do? How should we launch a promoter? Let's talk about that a little bit.
Okay, perfect. I love it. So yeah, actually the person who shared that question with me is on our Zoom, I'm sure. Leslie. Leslie's in Canada. Leslie, if you're on, just say hey or type in the chat there. We kind of surveyed our team and we were just like, hey, what are some things that you guys would like to chat about, some things you're needing some coaching on our team Zoom, and the idea of like how we launch promoters, and specifically launching promoters who don't seem super, what's the word? Gung-ho, like, I want to be the next legend inside of Prove It, right? Raise your hand, and I'm assuming everybody will raise their hand if you've ever had somebody, look, Donna doesn't even know what the question is, and she raised her hand. She's just like, I already got it. If you've ever had somebody get started and you're more excited for them than they are. Raise your hand if you've ever had somebody get started and you have more faith in them than they have in themselves. Raise your hand if you've ever had somebody get started who 4 conversations in is like, listen, lady, I don't even want to hit GoPro. I don't even care about that. Yeah. Raise your hand if you've ever had somebody who said, oh my gosh, I've had these incredible dreams and visions and goals and I've got massive burning desire. And then they never even make a post on Facebook. Yeah, I have one of those actually. And she did finally make a post on Facebook with all the things I taught her, but it was about Monat hair care. So, I mean, it just happens, people. So I really just want to share this, and I want to share it from my heart. The people who want what you want them to want are going to raise their hand and show you that, right? Like, when we got started, we had no idea what we were doing, and you can ask, a handful of us kind of got started at the exact same time within our team. We didn't really know what was capable, what we were capable of. We didn't really know what was possible. We didn't really know what we were doing, but we knew that we wanted to do something, right? So it wouldn't have mattered, and I'm just being honest, it wouldn't have mattered really if Melissa or Michael or Stephanie hadn't given us, here's the Zoom links, here's the thing, here, it wouldn't have mattered. We would have probably found a way. But the good news is that they did. They connected us, they plugged us in, they made sure we knew everything was, where everything was. And then it was really up to us to raise our hand and say, we're willing to be coached, we're willing to be leadable, we're willing to be teachable, we've got burning desire, we want to do this, right? So I just want to encourage you all to understand that, like, we've got tools, we've got team Zooms, we've got state of play calls, we've got the Pulse, we've got a Facebook page, we've got Instagram, we've got ways where you can just hand the information over to people and allow them to choose for themselves. And then take that energy that you have where you're going, oh my God, I can't believe she told me she had this amazing burning desire, and after 18 weeks of coaching her, she made a post about Monat. Like, and take that energy. You see all of that where I just almost pulled my own hair out of my head, right? Like, take all of that energy and put it towards the one person who is raising their hand, who is willing to do the things, who is saying, like, I want to be coached. So I know that's not the answer, Leslie, specifically that you were maybe even looking for, like, but that's just my answer. We have the tools. And Stephanie, you may want to add on to this, or Jess, you may want to add on to this. Like, I've got friends who are involved in all sorts of different companies, and I've seen what's out there, and I've seen what resources are out there. And I promise you, we have a million more than anybody else. And for someone who just says, hey, I'm not really sure I want to do all this, I'm not really sure I want to hit MVP, I'm not really sure I want to have this massive business, that's okay. Like, our businesses, all of our businesses are going to be made up more of a lot of people doing a little bit than a lot of people doing a lot. We're going to have a small group. Like, I think I've said this before, probably some of you have heard it already, but everybody's business is going to look exactly the same if you put it into a big pie chart by the time it's all said and done. Our pie is going to look exactly the same. We will have all talked to some number of people. The same percentage of people will enroll, the same percentage of people will do a little bit, and the same very small percentage of people will do a lot. If you want more people doing a lot, you just have to talk to more people, right? So if you're trying to help somebody get started who says, hey, I don't really want to do all of that, that's okay. Like, give them just access to all the resources that we have, and just encourage them and cheer them on at whatever level at which they want to participate. And don't feel like a nag. Like, if you're at that point where you're like, oh, I feel like I'm bothering them, that's about you. That's not about them. right? If they don't want you to tell them about the Zooms, if they don't want you to share the video with them, if they don't want you to say, hey, did you see that video on our Prove It Promoter page? I think it would be really helpful. They'll probably tell you, right? Or you could even ask if you're feeling really nervous about that. You could say, hey, I'm just checking in with you. Like, do you just not want me to update you anymore? Or do you still want me to send this information to you? That works too. I think I've actually heard that from, I don't even know who I heard that from. So it was really valuable and it changed the way I talk to people. And if it was you who shared it with me on a Zoom, pat yourself on the back, because I use it all the time now, where I'll talk to customers or promoters and it's just me. I'm the only person having a conversation. And then I'll finally just go, hey, do you still want me to send you updates? Like, do you want me to tell you when we have sales, or do you want me to remind you when we have team Zooms, or are you out? Like, just let me know. And a lot of the times that's all it takes to get a response for them. So you could do that with your promoters too. If you feel like, hey, I just don't even know if this person's doing anything, right? So Leslie said, yeah, thank you for that. It's not about me. It's about them. Yeah, it's not. Oh yeah, maybe Katie Rollins said it. Thank you. I don't remember who said anything. But it worked for me, and that's how I'm talking to people now. So it's really great. So just, make sure that it's not about you, that it's about them. Like, you can't want somebody to do something for you because it's going to help you, right? You have to want it for them. And that goes for if you're kind of like, so we've got all the tools. You all know what to do. When you launch somebody, they need to download the Pulse. When you launch somebody, they should watch the videos about GoPro and Go MVP. You should connect them to their support system. You should walk them through our Prove It Promoter page. You should tell them about Facebook. You should tell them about all the calls. All that stuff. That's all you have to do. And the people who want more than that, I promise you, they're going to raise their hands, right? And just don't get hung up, I guess, is my thing. I hear and feel us in a lot of ways getting so hung up on trying to drag the many when you have a few who will reach a lot of people. So just keep that in mind.
I love that. Hey, so first of all, if you see me I'm freaking out of my kid. I've been like I didn't even shut my camera off. My kids are a mess right now. But hey, I wanted to capitalize on what you were saying. So this is something that I learned these last 2 weeks. And let me tell you, I feel like I owed a lot of people an apology. And so first of all, Mandy, I think it's Monet, not Monette. However you said it.
I have no idea. I don't know what I just know it's shampoo. I've never asked anybody how to say it.
No, I'm teasing. But I felt like I learned a really valuable lesson this week. I think this, let's just say the promoter conversation, right? Let's say somebody joined you as a promoter, and how Mandy said, I feel like there's two very simple things. You connect them to everybody they need to be connected to Prove It, to you, to your team, to the Prove It Promoter page. You connect them, and then you simply teach them how to share. This is what's interesting. Mandy just talked about, when you have a promoter on your team, there are people that are going to bother you no matter what. They don't care what you think. They don't care if you're on the toilet. They don't care if you're on vacation. They might be the go, 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 right? That's awesome. And I think something that also I've learned in the last 2 weeks from dealing with a challenge with a couple ladies that are no longer with us, and I will just be very obvious with you, is I sometimes when you have a team, you look at some of your team leaders as you go to them, and you don't always. Has anybody ever heard the phrase taprooting, or digging past your leaders and figuring out who else you have on your team? I will let you know, sometimes you can get overwhelmed. There's just a lot of people. And so what I did a while ago is I grabbed a chunk of people and I kind of let them be the leaders that I talk to on a day-to-day basis. And I didn't always get underneath to knowing everybody, not that you can. But what I learned over the last 2 weeks when I had a challenge with two ladies that are no longer with us is I didn't get to know their people well enough. And you want to know something crazy? I didn't think they wanted to do much. And so the conversations that I heard over the last 2 weeks when I actually connected with people on the phone and personally messaged them this was the conversation that broke my heart. So if it was one of you, or I just want you to be one of these people and let your leader know. Not everybody wants to be a rhino. And I'm not saying they're not a rhino, but I'm saying not everybody wants to do this full time. Not everybody wants to give up their job. Like, people actually love what they do. Not everybody wants to put 60 hours a week in this, right? And so the conversations I had with a lot of sweet people was like, you know what, I just didn't bother you because I'm not a rhino. That's what they said. Hey, I just didn't bother you because, like, I'm not one of those people that go, go, go. And it made me so sad because it's exactly what Brian said. There is no one person in this business that's more important than somebody else. Like, it doesn't matter if you're doing this full-time or you're doing this part-time. Like, everybody has a reason why they're doing this. And so I was super mad at myself for letting people slip through the cracks because it's unacceptable. So, like, this is what I told everybody. Like, if you're in my message thread, guess what? I'm going to contact you. And if you're not, then you want to see something? I got so mad that I didn't know look at. I have a board that I'm like legitimately writing. I'm bulking teams up. I was like, screw this. I'm not forgetting people. I'm not leaving people out. Like, if somebody wants to do this business and you're in my message thread, your name is on this board because I'm going to hit you up and go, where you at, right? Like, and there are some people, like Mandy said, that they don't want to be bothered. I've had those conversations. I say, hey, it's okay that you don't have big goals. Like, you're in a chat, you know where to watch for Prove It stuff. Like, you're on the pulse. If you want help, let me help you. Somebody just said in the thread, hey, I'm scared, Melinda. Hey, I don't want to do a Facebook Live. We talk about this all the time. If you want to get out of your comfort zone, then grab somebody and have them do it with you. And I think Ashley was like, I'll do one with you. If you want to do something in this business, I don't care what it is, a keto life party, a Facebook post, or a live, like, ask somebody to help you. That's it. Like, that's all this business is made up of, is plugging into the team. And I know you can't be here all the time, but, like, watch the Zoom or watch Brian's Facebook, Instagram to get a little bit of inspiration, or plug into our promoter page, ask for help, and ask people what they know about ketones. That's it. Like, everything else is a bonus, but there's nothing else that you need to do. That's it. Drink your ketones, share your ketones. If you want to do something that you've never done, all you have to do is ask for help. There's nobody on here that is too busy. And so I just say, like, if you, in your brain you're thinking, oh, I'm not one of those runners, I'm not a top leader, I don't have the same goals, or, like, I can't bother them, or they're too busy for me. No. Like, get it out of your brain. That is unacceptable. And so, like, I just told people, like, there's no reason for that. Like, everybody can be successful here, whether your success is sharing it with 3 people a month or 30 people. Okay.
I think if I can just
yes.
like piggyback on that too, I think the opposite is true as well. Like, if you are somebody with big goals and big dreams, and if you want to help whoever and help them at wherever they're at, you have to ask those questions too. You can't blanket coach every single person. You can't blanket launch every single person. So if you're in that place, like Leslie, when you said today, where you were like, I just have people who I don't know how to launch them because they don't want to do all the things. You have to be okay with them not wanting to do all the things, because that's totally acceptable. It's totally acceptable. Like, my mom doesn't want to be a rank 10 inside of Prove It. Like, she really doesn't, but she really loves telling the ladies that she takes swim class with. Like, how my mom is sharing has to be just as important to me as how Jessica is sharing. And I can't treat them exactly the same way. So not only, if there's any kind of a goal that you want, your goal might be different than mine, but it might feel just as big to you as mine feels to me. So you have to, take ownership over that and ask for help. And if you have big goals and you want to help people reach theirs, whatever their goals are, you have to ask about them. You have to say, tell me what you want to do, and meet them where they're at. I know we hear it all the time. Meet them where they're at, meet them where they're at, meet them where they're at. But when we make it about us, it's really hard to meet people where they're at. Oh, dogs barking. Now my dogs.
You just made my dogs bark. Okay. There's a couple people that I know wanted to share. I would say this too. Like, Jessica Craig, are you on? Jessica Craig, you're on, right? You should unmute yourself, because you had a really good kind of little, yours was, share what you were going to share.
Okay, so my thing that I want to share is not necessarily something that like an action step or anything that you're going to be able to necessarily take away from, excuse me, from this Zoom and go and do. But here's what happened to me today. So it got me thinking. Sorry, I'm like out of breath. What's happening? So I woke up this morning, didn't really have any plans for the day. And I usually try to work out or do something every single day. So it's pretty rare that I completely miss a day unless I'm, out of town or busy or have a lot of things going on. But I started making some excuses. I was like, I don't really want to do this today. I've worked out, the past 6 days. I've, really crushed it. I think I can have a day off. I'm sore, blah, 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 blah. I just started running all these different excuses through my head. And then I was like, okay, maybe I just started like trying to come out of that. And I was like, maybe I'll just do some yoga. Like, I don't do yoga. So I was like, maybe I'll just do some yoga. So that way I feel like I'm doing something. And then I got to thinking about that and I was like, no, don't do yoga. Like, even though I really need to do yoga, I was like, go get on the Peloton, like just go do a real workout, do something that you're going to be proud of. So then I go in there to get ready to get on the Peloton. I start going through all the classes and I was like, okay, let's just do like a 20 or a 30-minute one, which I never do. I always do 45 or more. And so then I talked myself out of that and I was like, okay, shut up. Like, get out of your head. Just do the best you can. Show up, hop on the Peloton, do a 45-minute sweat and steady ride. If you have a Peloton, you know which ones I'm talking about, the kind that make you want to die. And let's just see what happens. So I got on the Peloton. Y'all, if you don't have a Peloton and you work out, get one, because it's not only a great workout, but I'm telling y'all, almost every single time I'm on that thing, I get some kind of business lesson from it. I don't know what in the world it is, but I can always relate something about my workout to my business. So anyway, I'm on the Peloton today. I'm doing this 45-minute ride. And even as I'm initially starting, I'm still making excuses in my head and thinking, okay, so don't worry about pushing yourself as hard as you normally would. Let's not worry about hitting that 500 calorie mark. Let's not worry about hitting a new PR. Just get on there and ride. And then a few minutes into the ride and my mind switched again. And I'm like, let's freaking go. Go as hard as you can. Let's see if you can hit a new record today. And I did. So I hit a new calorie burn record. I hit a new PR. I know y'all don't even care or whatever, but I was really proud of that. And so I got to thinking, I was comparing this to my business and I was thinking, okay, so what made me want to do this today? Like, what made me figure out that I was making excuses and all those types of things? Like, I was just trying to figure it out. And so I realized it was because I have a goal, right? So I know what I want with my fitness. Like, I know I want this certain body. I know I want to do these certain things. I know I want to, hit this goal weight or whatever. So that's really what pushed me today to make sure that my actions or my activities were meeting my goal, right? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I want to have that body, but skipping a day of working out or just, excuse my French, like half-assing my workout is not going to get me the goal body that I want. So y'all, it's the same way with our business. Like, you have to show up even when you don't want to. You have to do the things that you need to do to hit your goal, even when you don't want to, even when you want to have a lazy day or you think, I've worked really, really hard this week, or I messaged 20 people yesterday. Do I really have to message more people today? I've been doing my DMOs every day. I really want to, take a break today or whatever. Is that going to get you to your goal? So something else to take it just a little bit further that I got to thinking about. Y'all, I'm thinking about all this while I'm freaking dying on the Peloton. Like, I don't even know how my brain works because I can't breathe. But I just started thinking about all these things and I was thinking, okay, so how can I relate this to my business? How can I make myself have this same feeling about my business as I do about my fitness? So, or how can I explain this? Because I really wanted to share it with you guys. So I'm glad Mandy asked if I wanted to say anything, because I wasn't just going to volunteer. So anyway, love you, Mandy. So what made me like go a little bit deeper was I got to thinking, okay, so I know that that your activities and your actions have to match your goals, or vice versa. You know what I mean? Like, you have to make sure you're doing the things to meet that goal, or you're never going to hit it. But what would make me even want to meet the goal, right? Like, I know that I have a goal to have this certain body. I know that I have a goal to have this certain level of my business, this certain income from my business, this certain whatever it is that you're looking for from your business. So what's going to make you do the things that you need to do even when you don't want to? It's not necessarily your goal. Y'all, I think a lot of times we get hung up on the goal. So what you want to switch your focus to is your reason why. Your reason why you even have that goal. And I'm sure Mandy's going to have a ton to say after I talk about this, because this is something that she's really been talking about a lot and working on with herself, and something that's really clicked with her recently. And it kind of clicked with me today too. Like, why? Like, why do I even have this goal? So if you can keep that in the front of your mind, instead of constantly having just your goal hovering over your head and knowing that you're working towards that certain goal, like, that's great. I think goals are amazing and something that we need to constantly have. But at the end of the day, that's not going to get you out of bed. Like, that's not going to make you stay up later at night. That's not going to make you choose work over something else that seems like more fun, right? It's your reason why. So I don't know. That's just really all I have on my heart. So get a Peloton, figure out why you're doing what you're doing, and focus on that, and not necessarily just the end result. Focus on why you're even doing it in the first place, and do it even when you don't want to.
I loved it. I love it. You're right. You know what's so funny? Steve and I just revisited our goal, or our why, right before this Zoom, and we both had this new why that will probably take us a year and a half, but we actually came to a conclusion of something that we wanted for our family. And so we wrote it down, and we had this new goal, this new why, like the why tied behind the goal, and we decided we could do it in a year and a half. So I think that's awesome. I love that, because you're right. You can have a goal if we wanted a lake house, but like, why do we want it? There's a difference between like, I want a lake house. No, why do I want that lake house? Or why do I want to get out of debt? Why do I want to have this for my kids? It's super, super important. I love that. Jessica, thank you so much for sharing.
You're welcome.
Hey, before I have Mandy pop on again, so something that we were going to do, something that we have been doing, actually, I'm going to have the web share. So something that we've been doing with a handful of people is a 21-day run. And then the people in the 21-day run, or a handful of us, had this almost like, man, we need to be doing the same thing every single day with everybody. So I'm going to have the webs pop on real quick and kind of explain what we've been doing, and then what we're going to pivot and we're going to do from now on. So Annie, you're up.
Hey guys.
Hey. Go ahead.
Do you want to start? Okay, so I'll start. I'm Danny. This one's Chris. People get us mixed up. Crazy, right? They do.
All the time.
All the time. So yeah, the 21-day run, we decided to do this. We implemented it coming back from Keto Academy and more. And it's been fantastic. It's very simple action steps. They're easy to do. It's just implementing them and doing them. So every day we're going in and we put down like one action step to do for the day. That's it. And I think it's a great way to keep people on task and focused, and they don't feel like they have to do all the things all day long. It's just a very simple directional post, or, something that they have to do. And Steph and I were talking, and we decided that we wanted to carry this forward just longer than 21 days and put it in our own team pages, and give our own team pages a very directional action step, just one step a day, one action step a day, just to stay connected. Because I think a lot of times we overthink this business, You know, we think that we have to do all the things all the time, and people don't put their blinders on. They don't see their own race. They see everybody else's race. They see what Mandy Mitchell is doing. They see what Stephanie and Steve are doing. They see what everybody else is doing, and they fall into the comparison trap. You know, like, well, how come I'm not going as fast as they're going? How come I'm not doing this? Instead of focusing on their own race, I think it's a really good way to just stay connected, keep it simple, and keep it very directional. And, you know, like, I think Mandy was talking about, or no, it was Leah at the beginning, you know, you have to understand that we're running 3 to 4 months in arrears. So like the work that you're putting in now, you're not going to see this for 3 to 4 months. You know, all of this stuff that we're talking on, whether you're letting off the throttle on Sunday, because we still do work inadvertently, because we are still laying on a couch like this, but we may not be rhinos go, go, go like we do 60 hours a week. You know, Chris and I both unplugged today, but we were still working. So I think that even now what we're doing today is going to show up, you know, it's still going to take 3 to 4 months from now. So I think that, you know, just staying plugged in, giving an action step every day, something very simple, very easy to do. It's just actually doing it, will create that momentum in your teams. And the growth that you can have that's going to come out of this is just going to be amazing. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree 100%. And I'd like to touch just for a second on DMOs versus this action step that we've been doing every day with the Rhino Run. I'm a huge fan of DMOs, but at the same time, that can be extremely overwhelming to somebody brand new. Somebody brand new is going to come in and be like, okay, I got to do this, or one thing in each one of these categories or whatever it might be. And because it does take time, the compound effect for results to show, for the fruits of your labor to show, that it can feel like a lot. You could get that sense of this is heavy. This is a lot, and I don't know if I'm ready for it. I don't know if I can do it. I have it, and it kind of can build up on your plate, and if you're busy. And then again, it just really depends on where your goals are with this. With your business, you know, or what are you shooting for? So that's why I love the simplicity of what we're doing with the Rhino Run, which is having one action step a day. Because look at, even though I could love hitting DMOs every day, on a day that I don't feel like I'm all with it, hey, someone just put that action step out there. I'm like, you know what? I know I can do that. Yeah. I know I can at least do that, because you look at, guys, bottom line, that one action step that we're putting out there does create results. Yeah. It does. You don't need the DMOs. You don't need to hit all of the DMOs to have a result, right? Your result is you taking the action, because once we can really marry, like you hear all the time, marry the action, divorce the results, right? So when you can get yourself to a point where you are just consistently taking action, even if it's just one thing a day, you are creating an amazing result within yourself that's transferable in every part of your life. So it gets to the point where that you are just not just like, I have to do something for my business. You're actually doing something for yourself. And then that translates to your business, because our business is just a direct reflection of our lives and how we're living our lives. Right. So if we're living our lives in a way that we can take action, have a simple like action step, boom, here, go there, do that. I'm done. I feel good. Pat myself on the back, move on. Do I have more in me? Shit. Yeah, I got more in me. I can do. I can do that. Or that's what I have for today. And it worked, and I'm good with that. So what I think about, like when y'all were talking here, especially about fitness, is that you can look at DMOs as like going to the gym and working every part of your body, right? So you go to the gym, you work every part of your body every day. That could be a lot, but maybe having a simple action step. But you know what? Just doing triceps today. That's it. Just doing triceps. You will get a result. You will, right? So I think that if you have that mindset of you are getting the results. Mm-hmm. You just have to know that the result might not be exactly what you think, might not be exactly what you want it to be, but it'll be what you need. Like what you hear Brian talk about a lot, right? You're going to get what you need out of it. So I think, and I'll just wrap up my part here real quick, because I think it's really important to ask yourself this question, especially if you're brand new, and also to ask your promoters coming in. Look at, if what it took for you, if your goal is to create, you know, $2,000 to $5,000 a month of full-time income in this business, for example, okay, for you, if that's what it is for you, I'm just going to grab those numbers, where they came from, I don't know. So if that's your goal, and doing the simple action steps of plugging into the team getting on the calls, watching some Zooms, asking for help. If it took 3 to 5 years of just putting in a little bit every day, that little action step every day, if it took 3 to 5 years, would it be worth it? Would it be worth it? Because 3 to 5 years are going to pass no matter what, especially if you're at a job. That goes by like that. And did it get you closer to having that supplemental income that could free up your life to kind of get you towards the goals that, or totally get you towards the goals, or get you closer to the reasons why you have those goals? So anyways, that's what I got.
Yeah. I love it. Good job, babe.
Thanks.
I love it. I think people become paralyzed with fear because they think they have too much to do all the time. And I think it's just bringing and keeping it simple, because we really do have a tendency to overcomplicate the business when it's just really simple. That way you're not paralyzed, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That's it.
And I saw a couple of people who were brand new. Thank you, guys. I saw a couple of people who were brand new. Isn't it funny, Danny and Chris? I watched you all admit that you kind of relaxed today. And like I admitted it earlier in the Zoom. And isn't it weird? Sometimes you're like, is it okay for me to say that I wasn't like gangbusters all day long? Like, hi, we all have those days. So it is okay. Number one, I just want y'all to know I love you, and I'm glad that you relaxed on the couch today. I had a great day just relaxing too. But like you said, I still worked. And I love that we had an activity, right? That we had something we could share with people, like, listen, if I can only do this one thing, I've got this one thing. And then like Chris even said, I was like, okay, hello, Mandy, you can do more than that. It's fine. And then it kind of like inspires you to do more, and more people respond, and you have some more conversations, and that moves you to do more. I just wanted to touch real quick. I saw a couple people who are brand new saying they didn't know what DMOs were. And it's just a term that we have here. And I'm sorry, we should preface it a little bit more when we get into these calls, but it's just a daily method of operations. And we can actually have a whole Zoom on that and go into it longer. But I think, you know, what's really cool about what Chris and Danny were talking about is that this is going to be an opportunity for everyone, brand new, not brand new, to just keep an eye out in the team pages that you've been added to for a consistent, just every day, our entire team is going to focus on one activity. There's a group of us that are working together to think of those activities for you all based off of what's going on inside of our business, what promotions we have. Maybe it's a day without a promotion. What do you do on a day where we don't have a sale, or we don't have an event, or we don't have a new flavor? Like those types of activities that we can lead everyone to every single day. So you're going to see a lot of the faces that you've seen speak on our call tonight. You're going to see lots of other faces. People, we're just working together to give everybody one specific activity. And so just keep your eyes out for that, because I think that'll be really, really helpful. And I agree with you. They're so powerful for all those reasons. It just helps you not feel overwhelmed, and it shows you how simple it is. Not easy all the time, right? But simple, and how you can really just fit at least one thing into your business every single day. So I'm super, super excited about that. And I also wanted to touch real quick. This is not on our list, but Chris, you said something really cool about how like the time is going to pass anyway. And one of the things that we did today was apparently watch an insane amount of sports, which on television, which we don't ever do anymore. So like it's been soccer and NASCAR and drag racing has been on the TV today. And this guy, it was so powerful. It happened right before our Zoom. And it's so cool that you said this. He won a drag race. Don't ask me anything about what race it was. Don't ask me what the guy's name was. I don't care about motorsports, so I have no freaking idea. But I was so fired up for him because it has been 7 years since his last win. But he showed up at the track every single day. He did all of his things every single day. And you could tell by his reaction and his emotion to holding. I do remember that. I'm pretty sure the name of the award is like the Wally. I think it's called the Wally, because I was like, that's a weird name. Anyway, he was holding this trophy at the end, and maybe I'm wrong. You guys look like you know that what race things are, and I might be wrong. I don't know. But he was holding this trophy at the end. I can promise you his reaction was just as good as if he had won 3 days ago, right? And 3 days before that, and 3 days before that, and 3 days before that. Like, but he put in the work and he showed up consistently, and now he has that win. Now he's on top. And so it was just a reminder, like, I'm sure he had moments during the past 7 years where he was like, what the heck? What the heck? What the heck? I can't get a win. I can't get a win. I can't get a win. Oh, the keto couple said Wally is correct. So it is the Wally. I'm glad I paid attention to something. Anyway, it was just really cool. And so I just thought that same thing, like, man, that time passed anyway. It's a good thing he didn't give up. Like, he didn't decide, oh, I'm going to go try some other sport, right? Like, he stuck with it. So I love that so much. Stephanie, I don't know what you want to close out with. I would love to just kind of give everybody a heads up for what they can do heading into this next weekend, whether or not they're attending a Playbook event. Is that cool? Or is there something else we need to do?
That's it. I just wanted to make sure we covered, like, make sure you're plugged into your team pages, because I really feel like that's where the person that doesn't want to work all the time but has one action step, or if you're the person that, like, legitimately this is what you're doing full time, then you do that on top of everything else that you want to do. Do you know what I mean? But this is going to help those, like, 90% of people in your team that, like, they might not want to bother you. They might not know what to do. But if we can give everybody one action step, even long term, Mandy, with that, they'll learn all the little things to do, and they'll start learning how to do that by themselves.
Yeah,
so,
for sure long term, because like, Stephanie, you've been inside of Prove It for 4 years now. You've been a part of Prove It. And
4 years this month.
And that's amazing. Congratulations. And you have an incredible business and massive success, and clearly currently 100+ people on a Zoom who want to succeed and grow in their business. You still do things every single day, right? Mm-hmm. Every day, lots of things every single day. So I think that's important for us to remember too, is that, like, getting a good handle on these types of activities is going to serve you well for a long time, because you don't ever really stop. Like,
right. And what people need to understand, Mandy, is, like, it might be like our challenge to you is a Facebook Live one day, and those people who are worried or scared or, like, have never done it will get out of their comfort zone, and it might launch their business totally different. So, like, we're not asking you to do these crazy things. It's going to do little simple things that will legitimately change your business, or just change the person that you are, like the confidence that you have, and just feeling like you can build a team. So I think they're great.
Yeah, I'm excited for them. I'm excited. I'm glad we're sharing them with everybody. So real quick, let's talk about the Playbook events. Yes. Put in the comments if you're, just say, I'm going, or I wish I was going. I'm going, or I wish I was going, or I don't even know what the heck a Playbook event is. Maybe you don't even know. We've got some goings and some wish I was goings already. So let's talk really quick about Sue said she has no clue what that is. So we need to figure out who Sue belongs to, so we can find out if she can go to a Playbook event. So let's just talk about really quickly what you can do if you're going and what you can do if you're not going. Obviously, if you're going, you're going to be fully engaged for that entire day, right? You're going to be learning things. I'm hopeful that everyone will get opportunities to actually put some of the plays that you learn at that day in action. So you're going to be fully engaged and you're going to be busy. Here's what I'm going to tell you. If you are a social media person at all, if in any way, shape, or form you're using social media to grow your business, one thing that people want, one thing that I wanted when I got started, was to be a part of a community. Right? It was to be a part of a group of people who are working together for something really exciting. And I was really attracted and drawn to the events that I saw happening on our Prove It Facebook page. Like, I was really excited to see people gathering together and doing cool stuff and learning together and training. So I would socialize that. I would make sure that you're sharing how excited you are as you lead up and travel to the event. If you have to travel for it, I would, Leslie said she didn't even know she needed the community, but that's been the best part of the business. Like, I would make posts while you're there. And obviously don't overflood your social media. That's a totally different Zoom topic. But just share, make posts, like, talk to your team members, say how excited you are, and then go and be fully engaged and take good notes and be prepared to put all those things that you learn into action, right? And if you're not there, don't feel sad or beat yourself up about it. We have a lot of people that are making big attempts to get to a lot of these because it's one of the first real rounds of playbooks. Eventually, our goal is to have them very frequently and all over the place so that nobody feels obligated or pressured to get on airplanes and book hotels. Like, our hope is to have them frequently all over the place so that it's coming somewhere near you, right? But if you're not going, I would do the exact same thing. Watch your teammates that are there. Watch their excitement. Share their excitement. Be transparent. I wish I was here. Look at this group of people that I'm connected to that's learning so much, that's being mentored and coached. I promise you, just like how I say when we do these Zooms, like, take pictures of them, add them to your social media stories. Like, people want to be a part of a community. People want to feel trained. People want to know that they're not in this alone. People want to know that if they become a part of our community with you, they're going to get supported. So those are my two biggest tips. Any event, really, but the playbook is really cool, and I don't think it exists. Anything like this exists in our industry at all. Like, I don't think it happens. I don't think people get this kind of like direct, specific, do this type of training. So those are my two things. I don't know, Jess or Stephanie or Chris and Danny, if you have other ideas for like how people can really maximize their time there, or if they're not there. But I would just say be fully engaged at whatever level you can, whether you're there or not.
I love it. And I would just say, just stay plugged into the community, because on those days, even during that week while people are traveling, we'll still have the one action step. So there's still other people that are going to be leading and doing things from home. Like, you never want to make your team feel bad that they can't go. Right. So you just add value. So I told some people that couldn't go, like, when we come back, we will do an overview of it. So like, what we'll do is we'll probably just break down the topics, and we'll just give a recap of the social media, the keto life parties. We'll have everybody kind of grab what they did, so that there are things that happen that people can't go. There are single parents. There are people that have full-time jobs. And so if you can't go, plug in, just stay watching, and just do the things that you can do and stay plugged into the community. That's it, I think. So that's all I had. I would stay tuned to your pulse, because there may be some more blitzes coming, and I have no idea because my husband doesn't tell me. So sometimes Mandy will hit me, or other people on here will hit me with a text going, tell me what's coming today. And I'm like, Steve won't tell me anymore. He tells me I have a big mouth and I can't tell anybody. So I don't know any more than you do until maybe like 30 seconds before it hits. And Steve's like, hey, go check your pulse. And I'm like, babe, I can give everybody
I literally booked our Toy Story. We took the kids to see Toy Story, and it was when that Blitz started, and I booked it in the back corner. You know how you select your seats now at a lot of theaters? I was like, well, I'm going to need the seats in the back in the corner so that I can be here like this, because Stephanie wouldn't tell me. I was like, can you just tell me what's coming so I can have my posts ready? And she's like, I literally don't know.
I didn't even know. So, okay, we'll let everybody go. Stay tuned to your team pages. We want to honor your time. Have a great night, and just reach out. Do not be afraid to ask if you need help with anything in your business. So everybody have a great night. We appreciate you all, and we'll talk to you soon.